What's going on, everybody? Man, Eric Wilson, Sports Arena here. The last Monday of 2020. Thank God we are getting the hell out of 2020. But anyhow, we got a jam-packed show tonight, so let me not waste any time and bring the entire crew in here. First off, we have to welcome back our girl. She is the co-host of the Martine Gramatica Show. She also does Beauty in the Cleats. You can check this woman out all over social media. Miss Ruth the Truth, welcome back. And, I
had to do it for you, Eric. I'm sorry. I had to do the wardrobe change real quick. Let me get that star nice and centered. There we go. Doesn't that look nice? Yo, no. And I got the whole. Oh my God. My. Do you see this right now?
Here's what I'm gonna say. Woo. You need to be the biggest Eagles fan this week. I just want to let you know that, and we'll get into that later on. Let me also welcome in my brother. He is a Jacksonville Jaguars contributor and writer, host of the Carousel every Thursday night here on Facebook, as well as Twitter and YouTube, and also a writer for the Florida Sun Review, Mr. Alex Fleming. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm good, man. Jacksonville had a lot of sunshine, man. It was just
don't start. Don't start, okay? We'll talk about that, I'm sure. Oh, I don't even want to bring this guy in, but I have no choice because I'm going to have to hear his mouth all night. Michael,
yes! Let's go! You're going to have to be using that mute button quite often, let me say.
I had a hat on, but I had to coordinate with Ruth's style and put the ski cap on just for Eric. I know Alex likes it because there's a lot of sunshine in Arizona, so you don't need it unless you go to northern Arizona. Unless you go to northern Arizona, and you can ski in northern Arizona. But that being said, down here in the valley, no snow. But yeah, now, Eric, I mean, it's good to see you. It's good to see you.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's go.
Mike called me right after the game, and he had to fill me in because I spent this whole weekend moving, so I didn't get a chance to watch a lick of football. But Mike made sure to inform me on all the madness on last night's game. So let's get it, boys.
Yeah. Thank God we're getting the hell out of 2020. I got to put up with this. But as I said to Ruth, Mike, you need to be the biggest Eagles fan on Sunday night.
Right, but here's what I wanted to ask. And, Alex, I want to know how you feel about this because Eric's hatred for the Cowboys is no surprise. I mean, we understand this, the Eagles fans' hatred. But, Alex, would a diehard true fan root for their team to ever lose? Because I sure as hell know. Right. I don't care if the Cowboys are going for the 0-16 and the number one pick, whatever. I want them to win that game. So Eric's hatred for the Cowboys. I mean, if you root against Philly, I don't want to hear that you're the biggest Eagles fan ever.
I just want to let you guys know before any of this goes out of hand, each and every one of the teams in the NFC East is trash.
Okay,
let's
Alex,
go.
We'll get to it. Let's go.
I will mute you really quick. And let me answer Mike's question before we get started here. I will never, ever root against my team. Let me make that perfectly clear, okay? I know that we're eliminated thanks to your Dallas Cowboys. But please understand, I will never root against my team.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure.
Let's get on to the simple fact that we found out today Dwayne Haskins has been released. And, Alex, I'm going to you first, my brother, because you were a man who was constantly on me when I came to the fact that I didn't think Dwayne Haskins could cut the mustard. You gave me every viable excuse and reason in the book why this brother should have had a chance. He was handpicked by Daniel Snyder to be the quarterback of the then Washington Redskins, now Washington football team. And even when his opportunity presented itself, he couldn't get the job done. I won't even bring up the off-the-field BS. But, Alex, give me your thoughts on the fact that a guy who you at one time considered was needed an opportunity is now gone.
I think this was a long time coming. I spoke with Ron Rivera at the Combine, and the first thing I asked him is he going to work with Dwayne Haskins, and he said yes. Now, Dwayne Haskins had to play a lot of teams with winning records. Carolina yesterday was not one of them. He looked like he wanted to get cut. You needed to have the game of your life after the nonsense you pulled off after the loss against the Seattle Seahawks. You get beat by Seattle. The defense holds Russell Wilson to only 121 yards passing. So you go out and get some tip drills at home when you know damn well Ron Rivera is fighting for his life and just beat cancer. Well, now he beat cancer twice because you got booted off the team because you played like trash against Carolina. Bro, I saw the end of that game. There was a wide open receiver, a flick of the wrist. It would have been easier than a Mike Glennon interception, and he didn't throw the football. He wasn't trying to win the game. Why the hell are you on the team if you're not trying to help the team? Trust me, I'm in the Washington football team's chat room, and there's a lot of hatred. There's a lot of animosity. So when people start to wooing at the mouth, saying trashkins, Dwayne ain't the answer, send them to Burger King, I get offended. But then when you play like you belong in Burger King, you can't be a manager of Burger King the way that he played. If he gets re-signed, it's probably after a year or so because this guy needs to be humbled. He's like one of those Migos. You can't tell him anything. You want to be a thug, you want to act like a thug, well, you know what? You can get a real job like a thug on the street. He doesn't belong in the NFL.
Fine. Ruth, let me go to you and ask you this. When you look at the Washington football team right now as currently constructed, minus that they've lost Dwayne Haskins, what does this say to you about what Ron Rivera has done for the team this year?
So overall, Ron Rivera is looked at as one of the most respected coaches in the NFL. I mean, we saw what he did with the Carolina Panthers, as him and Cam Newton carried them to the Super Bowl in 2015. And he's just overall a stand-up guy. He brings his family into the facility. So he's obviously a family man. And he's big on showing his players that you need to have respect for other individuals and especially women. So when Dwayne Haskins is on the other side of the ball and he's doing things off the field that are, especially with COVID going on and you're seen in public in an inside closed area and you're not wearing a mask when you have the opportunity to be the starting quarterback again for the Washington football team after you got benched at the beginning of the season, you need to take that serious. And obviously his heart is not in it. So the Washington football team, I know that they have a lot of controversy going on in the front office with their head coaching position, with him, beating cancer and everything. They have so much going on for them in a negative way that Dwayne Haskins was just another cancer in the book. So I'm glad that he's gone. I think Alex Smith is going to be is going to carry that team for the remainder of the season and maybe next year as well. But Dwayne Haskins was not the answer. And I love how they kept replaying his reaction when Daniel Jones got picked up in the draft by the New York Giants over him. And it's kind of like, what have you done to even think that you deserve the opportunity? Like, his heart's not in it. You could tell that he's not there mentally. I don't know what he's got going on in his personal life, but he's not worried about his product on the field. So I think that they made the best decision for their team by cutting Dwayne Haskins. But it's kind of like, what are they going to do now? With Alex Smith hurt with the strained calf, the other quarterback, his name is slipping me right now, that has
Heinicke and Steve Montez. They have quarterbacks.
All right. Let me welcome in Mr. Jake Ronghold here. Jake, thank you for joining us here tonight. Mike, I want to go to you, and then Jake, I'm going to come right back to you. So, Mike, let me go to you. Looking at this team right now, the way that Washington, again, is constructed, be honest with me, Mike. Is this team going to win on Sunday and also win the division and get a home playoff game?
Well, as much as I'll take you – well, as much as I love Ron Rivera, and Eric, when he was on the market, I said I would have loved him to have a star on his hat instead of a Washington football team, obviously, hat he's wearing. But I don't know. I mean, inevitably, look, I said from the whole time that Alex and Jake have been picking them, I said they were absolute trash. Their offense is trash. And I love Alex Smith. You know that. But the offensive line, And yeah, they have injuries like everybody else, missing weapons as well. That being said, I actually really do, as much as I obviously want Philadelphia to win, but I really do think that Philly does win the game to ruin their season. And Eric, I'm going to say two things about Dwayne Haskins, which I know you'll appreciate. First of all, I knew he was doomed to fail. I have two words: Ohio State. Done. Okay, can't stand them. Alex, who did Ron Rivera play for when he was a player? Oh, he was in Chicago. He was with Buddy Ryan and Mike Ditka and those 85 Bears. Now, Ron Rivera is a very good family man. I am not ripping on him. What I am saying is if you're with that 85 Bear team, they weren't like the Cowboys of the 90s. I'll save you the shot, Eric. They weren't doing drugs, but they were partying at strip clubs. Those guys were rock stars in Chicago, and I'm not saying that Ron Rivera was or wasn't there, but he's still a no-nonsense guy. So an Ohio State quarterback, worthless, as always, and B, he played for Mike Ditka and Buddy Ryan, two of the most fired-up, egotistical guys, but they could deliver because they had the resume and they could deliver with the bravado. So he's going to be no nonsense. Dwayne Haskins was a waste of a pick. I loved his face when Daniel Jones got drafted because, Eric, you and I can at least agree on Penn State. I have cousins that went there. We hate Ohio State, and their quarterbacks are always pathetic in the NFL. I want to talk Pac-12 quarterbacks. Look at the MVP and Aaron Rodgers. Okay, let's talk about that. But anyway, Dwayne Haskins deserved to get cut. Ron Rivera has that in him. But I think inevitably in cutting him, it's still – and I'm sure probably only, half the locker room could stand him or half the locker room couldn't. But what I am going to say is it still is tough coming into a game because if Alex Smith can't go, it does say to the locker room that the defense is going to have to score 21 points, so you're probably not going to win the game.
Okay. Jake, I'm going to give you the final thoughts on Haskins, and then we're going to move on, sir. Welcome, and let's hear from my man, the Hitman.
The thing is that this was inevitable to happen with Dwayne Haskins. He was never Ron Rivera's guy. He was never Scott Turner's guy. That this was one where it came to a point where one of the sources said, and when Dwayne Haskins was drafted, that the Washington football team, one of their main executives was sick to their stomach, and they told Diana Rossini, we just made a crucial mistake. And they did. This is a guy who was charging people to, join his draft party. This is a guy who got benched after 4 games, and then he gets caught with strippers, or he is at a strip club, or regardless, he is maskless. You cannot be making these mistakes. And then you have this golden opportunity to win the damn division yesterday against the Carolina Panthers, and you did nothing. 2 interceptions, 1 turnover, and you looked like a fool, and you didn't even finish the game. Taylor Heineke had to come out and try and throw a touchdown pass because you couldn't be able to get anything past 20 yards. Terry McLaurin doesn't trust him. Cam Sims, Sam Sims, they don't trust him. Antonio Gibson doesn't trust you. When you have a young team like this, it's just another chapter of the Washington football team trying to clean up the mess that Daniel Snyder has left for them right now. They have problems off the field, and with this, they at least got rid of the distraction on the field so they could focus on trying to get a playoff spot under Ron Rivera.
Does
anybody, Eric, can I pick you back up?
His debut when he went 9 for 17 and threw 3 interceptions when he came in for Case Keenum? I didn't expect anything out of this guy.
Yeah. No.
But Eric, can I piggyback off that too? And what Alex was saying too earlier when we've talked about the front office and we've all talked about their troubles.
Okay,
the whole
hold
point
on,
with
Mike.
that
Mike. I'm not talking front office. We're moving on.
No,
I don't care about the front office.
Daniel Snyder drafted him.
Time out.
They drafted him.
What they do in the offseason in that front office until it is fixed, we're not discussing it because as far as I'm concerned,
that's why I'm saying it made it easier to cut It made it easier to cut Haskins because Snyder's the one that wanted him.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's in this trouble, and that's why he's cut easily.
Good, done, gone. So, really quick, 30 seconds. Everybody around the horn one time. Start with our girl, Ruth. Who's winning the NFC East? Be honest and be truthful. Be unbiased. You got 30 seconds, Ruth. Who's winning the division?
I believe it's going to be the Dallas Cowboys. I know that Andy Dalton has shown a glimpse of hope for that team. He's been able to get the ball in the right hands. We've seen Michael Gallup step up. Amari Cooper's there. Zeke actually had a 100-yard game. It's going to be the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to get it together, and we're going to do it for Dak. And not only for Dak, but Mike McCarthy, because everybody's been trash-talking our new head coach from the beginning of the season. So he has an opportunity to earn his position as a head coach, and I think it's going to happen.
Alex, who's winning the division?
He said 30 damn seconds, and you took 3 hours.
And you took 5 seconds.
I don't care. I don't care. The NFC East is doing nothing in the playoffs. I don't care.
Jake, who's winning the division?
I got to go with the Dallas Cowboys. They have continued to impress the last couple of weeks. And, I mean, look at the two guys that have really produced the most, Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb, 10 touchdowns combined between the two. Yeah, the defense is still bad. They still give up 30 points per game. But look at Washington. They don't have a quarterback. Unless they have Alex Smith, I don't see the Washington football team getting in. I think Dallas is going to sneak in. They have a terrific offense, but that defense is going to go up a lot of points. I'll be looking forward to Tampa Bay versus Dallas, though.
Oh, don't say. See, Jake, why did you have to bring that up? Because then that brings me back to what I said many, many moons ago,
All right, bud.
and I actually have to live for it. Mike, I already know who you're picking, so we're
No,
not even going
listen,
to go.
no, wait. I want to say
Let the
this.
man speak.
Fine, 30 seconds, Mike, go.
30
Jake's
seconds.
talking offense. The defense hasn't been great, but I'm sorry. Since he finally can remain being unsuspended, did you see what Randy Gregory did yesterday as to why they drafted him? And obviously getting Aldon Smith. Look, they will give up stuff in the secondary. Diggs has gotten better. Awuzie's getting healthy, which is big. But if Randy Gregory plays like that and Aldon Smith does, yeah, they're going to crush the Giants. And yes, then Eric will have to root for the Cowboys in the first round. That'll be awesome.
Crazy. I'm Tampa Bay all the way.
Oh,
Can we talk about some real football now, please?
Hey,
Moving
thank
on,
you.
gentlemen. Let's go.
just calm down, Alex. Okay, we're going to get to you in a moment. Would you relax? We want to talk about Jacksonville and what they ain't doing this year? Is that what you want to talk
Yeah.
about?
Oh.
Is that what you want to talk about? I mean, we can have that
Hey,
conversation.
listen, it's sunny in Jacksonville. You can't say that in Philadelphia.
You sunny in Jacksonville come 2021. You still in 2020, but
You
we're
ready
going to
for
keep
those
you
head
moving
and
here.
shoulder commercials, Alex? You ready for
You
all
know
those
what I'm
head and
saying?
shoulder commercials?
Let's talk about something a little more interesting to keep Mr. Fleming entertained here. The Buffalo Bills basically playing puppet master in the AFC. So, I mean, Alex, let me come right back to you, man. Buffalo Bills basically controlling not only their own destiny, locking up that number 2 seed, but then also controlling the destiny of everybody else who is beneath them as far as what the seedings are going to look like. What are your thoughts on what's going to happen after tonight, moving forward into Week 17?
Shout out to Mookie Hawkins, WUFO 96.5 Sports, Buffalo. He tried to tell you, he told you. Shout out to Eric Wilson during this whole pandemic earlier in April and May, who said, I don't know if Buffalo's going to do this or that. They need to worry about Cam Newton. Cam's been benched. So I don't want to hear anything more about Cam Newton. He can't see me. He can't see this podcast. He can't see the field. Back to a real team. The Buffalo Bills can run the football. They have Stephon Diggs, who has over 1,400 yards receiving. Nobody's been able to hold him. Broke Eric Mold's record in receptions and receiving yards. The king of the slot, Cole Beasley, just went over 1,000 yards tonight. So check yourself before you wreck yourself. Gabe Davis is the number 3, and he's got 6 touchdowns. Oh, and that defense is bad for your health since I'm dropping Ice Cube knowledge. Oh, and you got to go to Buffalo for at least not 1, if not 2 games. They've already gotten rid of Pittsburgh, and that's if Pittsburgh gets out of the first round because they're the number 3 seed. They can play games whether they want to see Miami as the number 7 or if they want to see Baltimore because they're the puppet master. Whether they choose to win or choose to lose, they decide the fate of the Indianapolis Colts, in essence, the Cleveland Browns, and the Miami Dolphins. So all of this vitriol that y'all had against circling the wagon Buffalo Bills, how do you like them now?
Okay. With the exception of Mike, because Mike has been a Buffalo fan all season long, I got to give him that. And yes, Alex, before the season started, I was a little skeptical of what Buffalo was able to do. But I have since then humbled myself and said, you know what? I was wrong. Put me through a table if that's what you need to do. I am a part of the Bills Mafia drinking Kool-Aid. But Ruth, let me go to you. When you look at Buffalo this year, this looks like probably one of the most complete teams in the entire NFL. Mm-hmm. Do you truly believe that the AFC matchup is Buffalo versus Kansas City? Do you think Buffalo is going to be able to do what very few teams have been able to do?
So I know that the Buffalo Bills will give Kansas City a run for their money, but can they beat them? That's kind of skeptical. When we say that they're firing on all cylinders is an understatement. The Buffalo Bills has a complete offense. They have weapons on all sides of the ball, and they're gonna make some noise. But when it comes to beating Kansas City, I mean, this is Patrick Mahomes that we're talking about. He's that quarterback that's taken 15 steps back and still avoiding a sack and still launching a 40-yard pass to Travis Kelce or Hill in the end zone. Like, this guy is unstoppable. He's probably going to be one of the hardest quarterbacks to defend. I mean, when we saw Tampa Bay face Kansas City, you saw the defensive line on the sideline just scratching their head. Like, what are they going to do? How do they get this guy down? It's impossible. Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City all the way.
All right, Jake, give me your thoughts on this because Buffalo really is in the driver's seat. And pretty much I think the only team that they do have to stack themselves up against is the defending Super Bowl champions, Kansas City. Josh Allen is getting better. who got Diggs, as we've been saying all season long. But talk to me about Buffalo's defense, because that's going to be the team or the side of the field that Patrick Mahomes is going to see. Can Buffalo's defense stop Patrick Mahomes, the Cheetah, Travis Kelce? Can they do it?
Sean McDermott learned from one of the best defensive coordinators ever, the late Jim Johnson. If there's one guy that knows how to step up against great teams, it is Sean McDermott. He has so much talent on this defense. It's ridiculous. They love to play that 3-4 They love to play that 4-3 defense. They love to blitz. Jordan Poyer has been a blessing in disguise. Tre'Davious White, since he got back, has been one of the top corners in the NFL. And then Micah Hyde has been a blessing in disguise as a top leader for their safety position. This defense can do anything it needs to do, because Kansas City has won ugly 7 games in a row that they have won by 7 points or less. They can step up. They can be. They are one of the 2 teams that I feel like could give the most headaches to the Kansas City Chiefs, because right now I'm not really bought up on this Kansas City team until I see a big blowout right out the gate. I'm telling, first game of the playoffs, they need to go out and blow them out here, because if they get away by the skin of their teeth and they have to play Buffalo or even Baltimore, look out, because I feel like Kansas City is starting to feel like the 2011 Green Bay Packers when they were 15-1. They were feeling it. They felt like they're the defending Super Bowl champions. And what happens? They get blown up by Eli Manning and the New York Giants. Don't fall asleep on the Buffalo Bills or even the Baltimore Ravens.
All right. So I'm going to keep it moving because you brought up the Chiefs. So let's talk about the Chiefs, because yesterday I was texting Alex while he was in Jacksonville, like, what the hell is going on with the Chiefs? And then 15 seconds later, the Chiefs score. I was like, never mind. They were just toying with us. So the question that a lot of media pundits have been asking, and I'll paraphrase it to all of you, is simply this. Are the Chiefs bored? Because we know and we've seen that at any given point in time, they can score. Now, listen, yesterday, Younghoe Koo, I don't know what the hell his problem was. I thought for sure this game was going to go into overtime, but he missed the kick and the Chiefs win. But Mike, are the Chiefs basically toying with us because of the weapons that they have, because of the combination of Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid?
I mean, I think a little bit. I know I talked about what Ryan Clark said last week, and somebody else on ESPN said too that they were bored. But here's the thing: like, it's the NFL, and again, like the Jets, who were trying to win every week, guys are punching you in the mouth, whether your guys are out for COVID or whatever. The Chiefs have an answer. I said it last week. They have the answer to the jigsaw puzzle of every other team, because when you have Patrick Mahomes in that offense, you can do it. As it pertains to Buffalo, them playing Buffalo again, look, Patrick Mahomes didn't have to pass it a lot last time. They ran the ball down their throat. Now, if Edwards-Helaire is healthy by the time they get to the AFC Championship game, which I'm guessing he will be, you can't – they can hang with them in the secondary. All the players that Jake brought up also forgot Matt Milano at linebacker, who I think missed that game against Kansas City. He was out for 6 weeks, and he's been an absolute beast on that Buffalo defense, quarterbacking it. But if you're Kansas City, yeah, I mean, I said it before, when you have the answers to the test, you feel like you're in it. If you're down by 10 early to, Tennessee, or down by 10 in the Super Bowl to San Francisco, you feel that you're in it. You have Patrick Mahomes, you have Andy Reid, you have an offense that's doing, and the defense that has done enough. So I disagree with the blowout. It's not trying to get into the college football playoff, Jake. I love you, but I don't think they have to blow them out. I don't care if a team wins by 1 or by 50, because guess what? You score that last field goal or last touchdown or last field goal, and you win by 1 point, you win. So right. I think, yeah, Kansas City fans want to see a blowout, but they have all the answers on offense, and the defense definitely has enough there to obviously keep them in every game.
All right, fair enough. Ruth, I want to go to you real quick, and then Alex, I'll give you the final word before we go to break. So, Ruth, same thing. Looking at the Chiefs and how potent they are, their defense has shown that there are kinks in the armor. What do you think about this team, and how do you think they're going to fare? Now, granted, they have the number 1 seed. So the road to the Super Bowl goes through Arrowhead.
Yep.
But what are your thoughts on them basically waiting till the last minute to basically get the job done, if you will?
the job is getting done. No matter how close these games are, they're still walking away with a win. So I believe that Andy Reid has a game plan. He is able to make adjustments at halftime and come back with a stronger. I mean, their fourth quarter wins are always a great deficit. So I'm believing that the Kansas City can make it all the way. I mean, and they're going to have home field advantage throughout the whole playoffs. It's going to be a great run for Kansas City, and you guys better watch out. It's gonna be a good run.
Alex,
Eric,
final word. I'll give you.
All right. Offensively, they're a juggernaut. The cheetah makes people look stupid. Tampa Bay Bucks don't want to see the Kansas City Chiefs. It's a good thing they're in the NFC. Tyreek can stretch the field. In the AFC, the problem has been the running game. That's how they beat Buffalo. Spoiler alert, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not going to be with the team for the first round. First round being after the bye. Do you trust Le'Veon Bell? I know the Jets don't. I know Patrick Farm doesn't. Does Pittsburgh? No. I don't know if he can carry the rock the way that they need to. Oh, and I can name you 2 teams in the AFC that have a linebacker that can bring that smoke to Travis Kelce. Now, we don't know if Indianapolis is going to get in. And even if they do, they have to win their first round matchup to face the Chiefs. That's fine. Let's circle back to the Buffalo Bills. That first game, it was wet, it was foggy, and it was a run game. There's no Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We got something for the cheetah. Oh, and who got Diggs? Josh Allen is shooting 68.8% on his passes. Their passing game is elite, just like Patrick Mahomes. You can toy around with people who aren't a threat to you. You notice the 2 games they didn't toy around with? Baltimore, Kansas City. Baltimore's going to try to run the ball down their throat, and Buffalo Bills are going to pass all day on that trash secondary. This is not over by a long shot. And how many teams made it to the Super Bowl? 15-1. Reality check.
All right, Jake, final word, real quick.
Look, I love the Chiefs offense, and I always will. But the biggest issue that a lot of people are talking about, and I heard this on the Locked On Chiefs podcast yesterday, their offensive line cannot stop anybody right now. Their offensive line is banged up, and it's because of Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, who left to become a doctor, help out with the coronavirus. That is a big loss for them. And their offensive line is just not able to contain and give Mahomes enough time in the pocket. And that's going to hurt because Buffalo's defense, look out, has gotten better and better. And mark my words, the Buffalo Bills are going to play out the rest of the season. They're not taking any days off. They're going to try and knock Miami and get them out of the playoff picture because, damn it, the Buffalo Bills want to win. They want to keep that number 2 seed, and they're going to do it.
All right. More with the sports arena. We're back in 30 seconds. No, we're back in 30 seconds. Welcome back to the Sports Arena. Your man Eric Wilson alongside Alex Fleming, Ruth the Truth, Michael Caratanudo, and Jake Rongholt. So let's get on to the next topic here because we still got so much to get into. So really quick, Jake, you just brought something to everybody's attention, so I'm going to give you the spotlight for about a minute and a half and let you talk about it. Go.
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills. Say again.
Chicago Cubs, my brother. Chicago Cubs.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, so when you guys were talking away here, the Chicago Cubs and the San Diego Padres just made a 7-player trade pending physical. Yu Darvish is now a member of the San Diego Padres. Keep in mind, this team just got Blake Snell. They're going to trade off veteran right-hander Zach Davies is going to be going off and a package of 4 prospects. Plus, they're also going to send Victor Caratini. He's going to be received to the Padres. So the Cubs looks like they're starting to rebuild their pitching staff. They're going to be bringing in some prospects using the best farm system in Major League Baseball, which is the Padres. And Chicago decided to make that move. Watch out. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I am ready for Dodgers Padres. I cannot wait for these series to get going because, man, the Padres are going for broke.
Are we surprised that Blake Snell left the Rays?
From the Rays, too.
That's right.
Are we surprised by it, Ruth? This is typical Rays fashion of what they do. They elevate a guy to the level of superstar status, and then they ship him off somewhere to finish his career. they don't utilize the product that they have. Now, listen, they have one of the best farm systems in the entire Major League Baseball. So they're going to bring up somebody, I'm sure. But when you just were in you weren't world champions, but I mean, I'm trying to understand, why would you make these moves? It has to be all about business. I would like to see what the Rays are getting back for that, but we know that this is what they do. They breed guys in their farm system. They bring them up. They get their shot. These young men, these athletes get to that status of damn near superstar, and then next thing you know, see you so long, goodbye. The Rays ship you off. It's kind of like what Philly used to do with the Sixers back in the day. We would elevate a player to damn near superstar, all-star status, and then we'd send him off, a la Charles Barkley, a la Alfred Iverson, a la, I can name, the list goes on and on and on. Alex,
and what the Pirates do in baseball. The Pirates do it in baseball too.
Yeah, Josh Ball got traded to the Nationals.
That's the difference between the Houston Astros and the Tampa Bay Rays. Houston doesn't need Viagra or Cialis. Rays, they need to pop pills every 5-10 years.
Anyhow, we're moving here on the sports arena. So let me ask y'all one quick question. 2021 is going to be lit. I'm going to tell y'all right now. Anyhow, so Colts Titans, AFC South Division crown up for grabs here on Sunday. Miss Ruth the Truth. Who do you like in this one? The Colts defense that is basically keeping Phillip Rivers in games, or that beast that is Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill, who is still having a great second half of his career?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the Titans and Colts, as much as I love Phillip Rivers and what he's been able, to re-breathe life into the Colts, I really want to see the Tennessee Titans take that, that spot and be able to go far in the playoffs. I think Derrick Henry has had an exceptional year. He's about to hit 2,000 yards in one NFL season. I mean, he's been able to do things that nobody's really seen before. And I feel like they're at Ryan. Okay, so with Ryan Tannehill leaving Miami and being able to prove to the NFL and prove to all his haters that he is an exceptional quarterback and he can be dependable, I go for the Tennessee Titans.
All right. Alex. No, actually, let me go to Jake. Jake, who you like in this matchup? Colts Titans.
I got to go with the Colts. I don't want to see the Tennessee Titans anywhere near. They have only had 3 wins against above 500 teams this year. They're 29th in defense. They make way too many mistakes. You saw it yesterday against the Green Bay Packers with Sean Evans with that illegal hands to the face. They were about to get the football back. They're just a little too inconsistent on offensive line play. They really do miss Taylor Lewan, their left tackle, because if you saw it yesterday, the Packer defense went to town on Ryan Tannehill, had back-to-back sacks by Za'Darius Smith. That was a big one. Derrick Henry was held to below 100 yards, and then Corey Davis and A.J. Brown just disappeared off the face of the earth. They're a great offense, a lot of fun to watch. Unfortunately, their defense is a mess, and I just don't want to see a team like that be in this. I want a team that has a nasty, aggressive defense that's going to come out and play good football. That's the Indianapolis Colts. I know they lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers, but the Steelers needed that game more than the Indianapolis Colts did, because I feel the Colts are going to beat Jacksonville. They'll get in. Titans are going to lose to the Texans, and the Indianapolis Colts are going to sneak in the playoffs, and they're going to be that under-the-radar team to watch out for, because their running game is getting better, and they have a top-ranked offensive line as well.
That is my sleeper pick. I told y'all this a while back. My sleeper pick is Colts Saints for the Super Bowl, so we'll see what happens. Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Colts have the easier game with the Jags. Sorry, Alex, but I mean, it's just it is what it is. They have the easier game with the Jags. You know what? But here's the thing with the Titans. Yes, yesterday was ugly, but I did think it was, I did like seeing Bruce talking about Ryan Tannehill. I mean, Miami, they never protected him. They never built an offensive line around him. And he smoked the whole Packers defense on the way to the end zone, Jake. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, if Ryan Tannehill can do it, no. But all kidding aside, I like them both to win their games. I think the Titans will be quite. The Titans are built. I mean, they talked about it all last night, and we know the formula. Like Bruce said, I mean, look what Derrick Henry's done. I mean, a 2,000-yard rusher that doesn't happen often in the NFL, even when people ran the ball all the time. But that being said, like if they're playing from ahead and what they did in the playoffs last year, I mean, yeah, I said that. We agreed on this, Eric, that Phillip Rivers was a great fit for the Colts with Frank Reich before when he signed there. But at the same time, like I think I don't know. I want to see the Titans in the playoffs just because of what Derrick Henry can do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Alex, go ahead.
You're all wrong. I told you 2 weeks ago that the Cleveland Browns is not a viable team.
Don't
They're
start.
not relevant,
Don't
and
start.
they're not
Here
a
we
threat
go.
for the Super Bowl.
Okay,
And
really?
what
No.
happens? They lay an egg against the Jets. Jets.
Without their top
Jets.
five
They have
receivers.
reality check.
You weren't even
They
there.
need to beat
Four
the Pittsburgh
receivers.
Steelers in order to even get
Oh, my
into the
God.
playoffs.
This
Are you
calls
serious?
Cleveland
for,
loses.
I
For
think they're going to be
Indianapolis is in. Number one, the Titans has ran roughshod over the Houston Texans. If
Okay,
you pay
what other
attention
viable
to the AFC South,
What other
it's been
viable
a
teams
hot
have they
minute
beat?
before
What other
the
viable
Houston
teams have they beat,
Texans
Alex?
have had a win over the Tennessee Titans. Number two, they want no smoke from King Henry. They want no smoke from King Henry. Number three, we talked about this during March and April, Eric. I don't trust Phillip Rivers. They have a
Listen.
Super Bowl defense with a guy who's got more kids than game-winning touchdown drives. All right? Indianapolis gets in. Tennessee wins the division.
Okay, listen, I told you this already. Number one, that he will shoot you in games and shoot you out of games. But I also made the case for the fact that this is a man who his glass ceiling was what? He couldn't beat Tom Brady in New England in January. Well, guess what? Tom's down here in Tampa. So what does that mean? That opens the door for Phillip Rivers to play smart football, be a game manager, and allow his defense to do what he knows they can do. That's why I'm telling you, you can sleep on the Colts all you want. I know you got your boy El Freaky. I know you got the reigning champ Kansas City Chiefs. And yes, like I said, put me through a table with Bills Mafia. But you cannot ignore that the Indianapolis Colts are a team this year that could actually get it done. Oh, and by the way, who is their head coach? Frank Reich,
Frank
right?
Reich.
No. I'm not asking. That was rhetorical. Frank Reich is the head coach. What was Frank Reich's position in Philadelphia? He was the offensive coordinator. And when he was there with Doug Peterson, Johnny Filippo, remind me what happened. Don't worry, I'll wait. So that's what I'm saying to you. Now that he's in control and now he's the one doing the joysticks, he got his own PS5 ready to go, baby. I'm telling you right now, sleep on Indianapolis if you want. But if they find a way to make it to the AFC Championship game, you and I, sir, will be having this conversation. Trust
and
me
when
on
Cleveland
that.
wins this Sunday, I'll just remind you that you said they weren't going to win and get to the playoffs.
Oh, you still on that whole Cleveland not viable thing, and I don't even want to talk about. I know not you, Mike. I get it. We're gonna move on because I want to talk to Jake and I want to talk to Mike because the two of you gentlemen had a very interesting conversation last night via text about the Packers and the Bears. So the three of us are going to step away for a moment. And Jake and Mike, I'm going to give the two of you the floor to go a little tit for tat, if you will, based on the Packers and the Bears. So,
ding, ding,
gentlemen,
ding.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, please.
By all means, Michael, take your first shot.
My first shot. Look, they were 5-1. Everybody said they were a joke. They were a joke 5-1 team. All right, and maybe they were, but only because Tom Brady couldn't count downs, and I know you ripped on him too that week, Jake, but he couldn't count downs. But what did the Bears' defensive line do to them? Killed them, and he can't take that for a whole game. Look, it's in Soldier Field. Yeah, you have Aaron Rodgers. You know, I love Aaron Rodgers, minus the body language all the time. That being said, that defense is going to ball out. Khalil Mack is going to kill him, like figuratively, not literally. Khalil Mack is going to kill him. Mitch Trubisky they have the top offense. If you just go the last 4 weeks, the Bears' offensive output is like top 3 in the league, which I know who they've played. Fine. I'm just saying from a defensive standpoint, like Alex just said, and you were saying Tennessee's defense, it's nowhere near the Bears' defense, and you know that. You can dislike the Bears, which I know you do, but you know that defense is legit. Khalil Mack, Hicks, Roquan Smith, the secondary, it's not going to be a walk in the park for the Packers. If it is, I will come back on here and say I was wrong, but with that Bears defense, there is no way in God's green earth it's going to be a walk. Can the Packers win the game? Absolutely. But I stick with the Bears getting in the playoffs. I stick with the Cardinals beating the Rams. So both the Bears and the Packers and the Cardinals all get in the playoffs in the NFC. But this is going to be a great old NFC Norris game, Jake, coming down to the Bears defense, and they're going to make the plays, and Trubisky will do just enough, and the Bears win the game.
Just enough. Yeah, okay. So that's cute. Bears, let's see here. They play the 31st best defense, 30th in Houston, 27th in Minnesota, dead last in Jacksonville. Look, I give a lot of credit to Mitchell Trubisky. Last 3 games, you've been good. You've been good. You've been solid, but you've also made some mistakes, and that was against a team like the Detroit Lions. Not to mention, there is no days off for the Green Bay Packers, just like Buffalo Bills. The Packers want that #1 seed. Aaron Rodgers has already said on the Pat McAfee show he wants home field advantage, and Matt LaFleur is going to give it to him. This is a defense that has vastly improved since that Minnesota loss at Lambeau. They are 14th in rush, 7th in pass, and since Darnell Savage came back from injury, they have been a top-ranked secondary. Jair Alexander is going to have a field day with the likes of Allen Robinson. It's still going to be a close game. It's going to be a close game. But guess what? Aaron Rodgers has only lost to the Chicago Bears twice. And you think that because of a change of venue of Soldier Field, you think that's going to scare Aaron Rodgers? He just played in a snow globe in Lambeau Field. You don't think he could take a snow globe in Chicago? Of course he can, because he dominates the Bears. And if you keep trying to tell me that Matt Nagy is the future of this Bears team, you are going to drive Bears fans insane. Now, Arizona might, unfortunately, blank the bed and, be out of the playoffs, and the Bears get pushed in at 8-8. Fine. But the Packers want home field advantage, and this is the way they're going to. They have a tougher game than New Orleans, and they're going to show it again. They had a statement game last week. They're going to bring it to Chicago again. Don't fall asleep on the Green Bay Packers.
I'm not saying anything about Matt Nagy, Jake. I'm saying nothing about keeping Matt Nagy.
We're going to win.
I'm saying Khalil Mack, because when he's crushing Aaron Rodgers, like those beautiful pictures I sent you, when he's crushing Aaron Rodgers and there's a fumble, the Bears will take advantage of something. It will be a close game, you're right. But I'm sticking with the old monsters of the Midway, the defense, baby. The ghosts of the 85 defense are going to be there, and they're going to whoop them.
What is Ron Rivera, Mike Singletary, and all them boys going to come back and play this last game?
Richard Dent, hell yes.
All right. We're going to transition out of the world of NFL because last week was the start of the 2020-2021 NBA season. So I definitely want to talk to everybody about, get an early assessment from everybody from what you've seen. And, of course, I'm going to start with our girl, Miss Ruth the Truth. There's our boy Alex back in. So early assessment, Ruth, of the NBA thus far. You have things happening such as the Orlando Magic being 3-0, first time in 11 years. You have Kawhi being out and the Clippers looking like a JV team that the 5 of us could have beat, which, by the way, don't forget, Ruth, we still have our little challenge. I'm waiting on you.
Whenever you're ready, let me know.
Listen, get settled in Tampa, and then we can talk. So for those who don't know, Mike, I have challenged Miss Ruth the Truth to a one-on-one basketball game. And
I don't know why he did it to himself. I don't know why.
What's so funny, Mike? You got words? You got jokes?
Smoke you. She's going to smoke you.
Okay,
she's going to smoke you.
I have one challenge against Miss Ruth the Truth, and I have one against you, Mr. Carrot Tenuto. Whenever you decide to bring your happy behind here to Florida to get your ass whooped in bowling, does anybody else want to take me up on 2021 thinking they can beat me at something? I mean, because let me just say, you want some, Alex? Okay, that's true.
Your wife needs you. So you better avoid me on the basketball court. I don't even want to mention football because all y'all look silly.
Let me just say this to the 4 of you here who I greatly love and respect, and I want y'all to know this from the bottom of my heart, but it's simply like this. Just because I don't do something doesn't mean I can't. If y'all want to sleep on this 44-year-old man, please feel free. But when I take your heart out your chest, shut up. Okay, keep it moving here.
I just want to say a little tidbit to Mr. Michael Carrot-Tenuto. I want to thank you for trying to defend the Chicago Bears, but I spoke to them yesterday, and I spoke to most of their secondary players, and they're not happy at the fact that they're going to have to cover Devontae Adams. Oh, A.J. Dillon, talk to him at the NFL Combine, 245-pound running back, bench press 225, 30 times, saved him the entire season. Logged a total 123 yards during the regular season, week 16. He's got a $124 with 2 touchdowns. And I didn't even mention Montez Valdez-Scantling, Robert Tonyan, that's going to be an issue for Roquan Smith, or Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Now that LaFleur has weapons everywhere, and a shaky secondary at best, because if DJ Shark can do the funky dance on the secondary, do you think Devontae Adams might have a good day? Especially when you know the ball's coming to him? Oh, and by the way, Aaron Rodgers just happens to hate the Chicago Bears. Do you think I know? I think I would know.
I know you know.
Get in by
I know you know. And when Khalil Mack puts him on his back 4 or 5 times, let's see how he responds. Because the first time Khalil Mack ever hit him, he went to the locker room, right? The first time Khalil Mack ever hit him, he went to the locker room.
You have more hope than I do, bro.
All right, I'm muting both of you to give Miss Ruth the Truth the floor to talk about the NBA. Miss Ruth, the floor is yours. Thank you.
I'm just so excited to see Kevin Durant back in the NBA, back on the floor. I think the Brooklyn Nets made some serious noise, blowing out the Boston Celtics and Jason Tatum by 28 points. Did anybody see that game? They're going to be on fire. I'm glad that, the playing field has been leveled out between the East and the West with Kevin Durant joining Kyrie Irving with the Brooklyn Nets. So I'm very excited. I mean, the Clippers getting blown out the way that they did by the Dallas Mavericks, 50 points. What is going on? I had to call my friend Ty Lue and ask him what was going on. And he said, we were tired. That was his answer. And I said, sir, first week of the NBA, it is not time to be tired. It's time to wake up. So,
did you really say level the playing field between the East and the Western Conference? I think
Alex,
I might have heard you say that.
Alex, she did say that. So let me ask you this question, Mr. Fleming.
Not nice to interrupt a lady.
Exactly. Mr. Fleming.
I couldn't believe what I heard.
Mr. Fleming, let me ask you a question, though. Based on what you've seen, early assessment of Trae Young, between him and Luka, what is going on between them two? Because it seems like both of those guys are playing like next-level talent right now.
Look, I got nothing against Trae Young. I like Trae Young. I knew Trae Young was going to be good when he came out of Oklahoma. He's not Luka. Luka doesn't have all of his weapons. Luka has been carrying that team. Luka has been the victim of the Karate Kid syndrome. One man in the ass-kicking contest when he's got to go up against Davis and LeBron James. Luka is an MVP candidate. Trae Young needs to worry about making the damn playoffs. Please don't compare those two. Now, back to Ruth the Truth over here saying level the playing field. Bro, you must have missed it last night when the Charlotte Hornets clipped those Nets with Kevin Durant playing and Kyrie Irving playing. Now, if the Charlotte Hornets can do that because they take a team lightly or get caught slipping, what the hell does it make you think that the Nets can get beat by absolutely anybody, including the Orlando Magic in the NBA? Oh, breaker. Flash news. Spencer Dinwiddie, torn ACL. He's gone. So there goes something on your second stream when it comes to basketball. The Nets don't scare me because they have a head case known as Kyrie Irving. There's a lot of better teams in the East. The Nets are flashy. Yeah, they're going to get all those little, I don't want to be Knicks fans. They're not making any noise.
All right, fine.
Eric, I will say I was the only one that did pick the Hawks to make the playoffs in the East. I just want to remind Alex of that. So I did. I love Trae Young out of Oklahoma too. I'm with you on that. He's not Luka. I'm with you on that.
No.
But the Hawks are making the playoffs and the Bulls aren't.
Duh.
Hey, you picked the Bulls.
Jake,
I wasn't talking to you, Jake.
0-3 Bulls. Yeah, I'll just be happy if we get 20 wins with Billy Donovan. Man, that team is such a mess. Thanks, Garpax. Appreciate that. Anyway, listen, the one thing I'm really impressed with the most, and I want everybody to stop with the Nets, all right? That was a great win by the Hornets last night. LaMelo Ball really stepped up his game as well. But listen, the Nets are not as good as everybody thinks they are. Spencer Dinwiddie is a monster loss for him because not only was he good on offense, he was terrific in the paint, being able to defend those shots. And that's one thing that's going to be a problem for the Nets to try to replace. Not to mention Kyrie Irving is just too erratic, too bipolar right now. And it's kind of a messy marriage right now between him and Kevin Durant in the making. What I really am shocked at is the Orlando Magic right now. Markelle Fultz, 21 points per game, averaging 4 assists a game. And I can't believe I'm saying this because I was his biggest hater last year. Evan Fournier, where has this been? We have been waiting year after year for this consistency, and now you're averaging 19 points per game. Markelle Fultz and Evan Fournier, I can't believe I'm saying these. These two guys are like the blessing in disguise right now for Orlando, and they're going to be a little they're going to be a little under the radar team that's going to be able to scare some people as this season goes on here. Not to mention Trae Young, 35 points per game so far. Yeah, they're 3-0, but listen, the Hawks are not as good as everybody says they are quite yet. Let's see how they are by game 25. And then the Clippers. Thanks, Clippers, for proving that Kawhi Leonard is the reason that you were so good, because Paul George, way to step up your game, man. 15 points in that great game against the Mavericks. This team was 4 for 33 from the three-point line, 26 for 76 shooting. That's inexcusable. I don't care who the coach is. You better be able to light a firecracker up these guys behind and realize if Kawhi Leonard's out for a few games, you better step up your game or it's going to be curtains early.
Put your hand down, Alex. Hold on. I got a couple questions.
The first time since 1950.
Okay. I'm muting him. I got a couple questions I need to ask real quick. So, first and foremost, Mr. Rongholt, you spoke about Evan Fournier, and I think Ruth hit the nail on the head when she said it's not going to last, because I have to agree with you.
Says who?
I am. Says who? Hold on. Let me get
Says
it for
the
you.
books.
Mr. Fleming, could you please explain to Mr. Caratanudo about the hot and coldness that is Evan Fournier, please?
I would first like to talk to Jake and about the 1954 shot clock era. No team has ever been down 50 points at the half before I was so rudely muted by a narcissist. Now, back to Michael Caratanudo and Evan Fournier. His volume shooting is down because they have point production from the bench. 53 Saturday night, 50 Sunday night. Terrence Ross has been a menace. Cole Anthony is the point guard of the second stream. They're getting multiple contributors. Everybody's pulling down rebounds. Everybody's minutes have been reduced. There's been one game that was against Miami where somebody actually hit 40 minutes. 31 minutes or less. And against the Russell Westbrook-less Wizards, it was 29 minutes or less. When you spread the ball and you have other threats, you don't have Evan Fournier jacking up 19 shots and only hitting 6 of them. By the way, he did hit all of his free throws. That's the reason why he got 19 points. Yes, I pay attention. And you can survive Aaron Gordon going 1 for 4 with only 4 points and playing 25 minutes.
Right, but it
doesn't have to last.
Right.
It doesn't have to last, Ruth. It doesn't have to last, Michael, because when you have energy and chemistry, it equals synchronicity. Chuma Okeke, Cole Anthony, Markelle Fultz, Cam Burke, Nikola Vucevic, Terrence Ross, Aaron Gordon, Evan Fournier. Everybody's involved.
Right, that's my point. But I paid attention to you and Eric. I paid attention to you and Eric last year, and you said if Evan Fournier isn't put in a position to jack up a ton of shots, because I think you guys mentioned this a few times last year during your Magic show, is that if he's in there off the bench and he comes in and he doesn't jack up a ton of shots, feels forced to, it's actually better for him. I think it'll last. And Jake, to your point on Markelle Fultz, come on, man. He didn't lose his jump shot. He just didn't want to be in Philly. Can you blame him?
Hell no. Hey, bro, it could be worse. You could be in Detroit. You could be in Detroit.
Touche. But I'm just saying about Evan Fournier. You guys said it last year before the shutdown.
The Pistons are sorry. I mean, the Tigers aren't going to be any good. Bro, how bad is the Detroit Pistons?
Oh,
the Detroit
terrible.
Pistons are the Red Wings Cavaliers.
And the Red Wings are pathetic too. And I love that.
Cavaliers. I never heard that one.
But with Fournier, Cleveland, bro, have you ever been to Cleveland? Have you ever been to Cleveland? The only thing good in Cleveland is a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That's
Cleveland
pretty cool.
Has started to win, and they look better. Hell, bro, remember when I called out Nance? Nance is hitting 70% of his threes that he's attempted. They're 3-0 on the season. Detroit looks like Flint, Michigan right now.
Okay. Miss Ruth the Truth, could you please get in here? Because I'm tired of listening to these 3 knuckleheads. Well, 2.5. I mean, I still love Jake, but I haven't been called a narcissist in quite some time. Thank you for reminding me, Mr. Fleming. I appreciate that. Normally,
I didn't call you that. I don't think you are.
Normally, I'm just typically an asshole, which I'm taking. But hey, this is how we're going to end.
I didn't call you that. I said
let's do that. Oh, I call myself that. But Miss Ruth the Truth, please enlighten our viewers with some true knowledge here, please.
What's the question? Where are we going with this?
Well, give me your thoughts on the Magic, since you're down here in the area.
All right, so the Orlando Magic, I mean, come on, they cannot be consistent. I'm not going to get my hopes up. I've been living in Orlando, well, as of lately, I've been living in Orlando for 20 years, and it's always been an upset. They cannot carry it through the season. They can't stay healthy. They can't win games when it counts. They always have a slump, always in mid-season. So I'm not going to put my money on the Orlando Magic. I'm glad that they're 3-0 for the first time in 11 years, but I don't see it lasting. And Evan Fournier, I mean, come on, man. I'm not putting my Markelle Fultz all the way. I believe in him. I believe in Aaron Gordon and what they have going on, especially the chemistry that they have on offense. But I'm not putting my money on Evan Fournier.
Okay. All right.
This is some of the hate that they were talking about, bro. This is what they were talking about.
Listen,
the animosity.
I feel balanced again.
I am just simply saying this. This will be the third season that Alex and I will be covering the Orlando Magic. The fact that they have started in this position shows to me that Coach Clifford has the buy-in from these players. They had a very short offseason, which every team did. Most importantly, the Lakers and the Heat only had 71 days. But the rest of, the NBA had a very short offseason. So they had to get their players ready to go. The fact that guys like Terrence Ross and guys like Al-Farouq Aminu, who is still trying to come back from surgery, and others were in the gym pretty much the day or the day after they were eliminated, says to me that this team is on a different mindset. Now, I'll be the first one to say I am not the biggest Evan Fournier fan. To me, he's got to show it to me. But what I've seen so far, and Alex, to your point, the reduced minutes and the buy-in from everybody, the synergy, as you call it, stands to reason that this team, I think, is going to be a higher seed in the playoffs than 8, 7, or 6. I think they are going to surprise some people. Time will tell, barring injury and health, and hopefully these guys stay away from, not being knuckleheads. We shall see.
I want all the smoke
from the
ground when they're the fifth.
Go ahead.
One final question.
All the smoke.
Why did the Magic?
Why
did the Magic extend Jonathan Isaac?
He's the defensive stopper.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. John. Jake. Listen up.
I'm listening.
4 years, $80 million is cheap for a defensive prowess stopper. You need someone who's going to stop LeBron James, hold Anthony Davis to less than 20 points a game, going to plug up the lane when Luka tries to make you look stupid, and someone to slow down Kawhi Leonard. They've been in shootouts. All 3 games, they scored more than 100 points. If they had Jonathan Isaac, they could take away the primary contributor. So Bradley Beal doesn't score 39 points on your punk ass. Or Russell Westbrook doesn't have a triple-double the second game of the season. If they had Jonathan Isaac, it's not even close against the Miami Heat. He's the backbone. He's Voltron's head. You need the head of Voltron for everything else to work. You have a 10-man roster and everybody is in unison. If you had Jonathan Isaac, you could actually make some noise.
Fair enough. This has been the great show. Thank you all for being a part of the Sports Arena for 2020. Starting in 2021, we are going to do a new segment, and I just want to give y'all a taste of what it's like. So first off, let me say goodnight to everybody, and then I'll be the scapegoat. I'll pop the cherry, if you will, on this one. In 2021, we've got a new segment called The Smoking Section. I'm going to lead it off here tonight. But before I do that, first off, Ms. Ruth the Truth, thank you so much for being a part of the Sports Arena. Make sure everybody checks her out on zliving.com Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern, co-host of the Martine Gramatica Show. Thank you so much, Ruth. Happy New Year. Many blessings to you, your family. Please be safe up there in Tampa. And you know your boys aren't that far away if you ever need backup. We got you. Mr. Jake Rongholt, Turning Point Podcast, telling both sides of the story. Great articles. You also just got picked up by another streaming service, I believe, sir. Is that correct?
Yes, Blue Wire Hustle Podcast Network. We're just working out the details. I should have my first show on that network this Friday.
Brother, Happy New Year. Much love to you and Stephanie. We will definitely talk to you soon. Michael Caratanudo, what can I say? 11 years together, brother. We have been doing this thing for a long time.
Can I say one quick thing before we get out of here? I just want to give thoughts and prayers because I don't know if you guys heard about it, but I think right after Christmas, Ty Jordan, he was the Pac-12 freshman running back of the year, unfortunately got shot and killed in Utah. Again, the family didn't release the details, and you know me, I'm not like a bloodthirsty sensationalist, so I don't need to know the details. I just know it's unfortunate. Some people were leaking stuff. It could have been old bad friends, jealousy, whatever. But
He
I
was
just
at
thought
home
some
in Texas.
Yeah, well, in Texas, yes. Sorry, I knew that, but yeah, it is sad, man. Because I mean, I actually got to talk to that kid on media day when they had all the virtual stuff this year, media days, and just as a freshman, you could just see like it's all there for him. He was the freshman of the year, so just prayers to Ty Jordan's family, man. It's a bummer.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that, brother. Hey, Happy New Year, and I'll be waiting to your text on Sunday. Should you beat the Giants, I know you're going to be in my corner to beat Washington. Last but not least, my brother, Mr. Alex Fleming, bro, 3 seasons together. We have done it all from football to baseball to combine, all the way around. You doing big things, man. And of course, there's so much in the works. Host of the Carousel. Make sure you check out this man's articles. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, your man, Eric Wilson, let me give you a taste of what 2021 has to offer.
This program contains graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
I got something real heavy to lay on you, man.
Now that's what I need.
Please feel free to join us in the smoking section because we with all the smoke.
For God's sake, strap yourselves down.
With that being said, welcome to the smoking section, ladies and gentlemen. I got a huge bone to pick with the NFL. And let me just say this. It's not often that I go after an entire organization, but damn it, this needs to be said. Alvin Kamara tied an NFL record in his game. And then you want to fine him because he wore Christmas cleats on Christmas? Are you kidding me? So that's what y'all going to do. You're going to fine this man for doing what he loves to do. And because you didn't approve his cleats, you're going to fine him. He ran for 6, should have been 7 rushing touchdowns. And that's what you guys do. You have too much time on your hands. Why don't you focus on keeping your players in check? And here's another idea I got for you. I know it's been talked about, but let's make it official, NFL. All the first responders out there, everybody who has fought for our freedom this year, everybody who has gave a damn about protecting us from COVID this year, you need to open the doors to Raymond James. You need to let them into the Super Bowl for free with their families and let them enjoy that glorious day. No matter which 2 teams are in there, the NFL needs to start giving back more to those who have supported them. That's what I'm going to say.